The Presidential Library near Los Angeles will be the scene where verbal fireworks could erupt, breaking what President Reagan often called the 11th commandment: thou shalt not speak ill of any fellow Republican. We'll see what happens tonight. So what's the best strategy for taking on the leading pack, the man who's really leading this pack, Donald Trump, and winning the debate? How do you win a debate? Brett O'Donnell is president of O'Donnell and Associates and a former debate coach for Governor Mitt Romney, Senator John McCain, and former President George W. Bush. He has been advising in some capacity Senator Lindsey Graham as of late, but because of his resume, of course, we wanted to speak to him. Brett, it's great to have you on the program. I'm curious what debate coaches are doing right now for some of these candidates. If you were actively coaching some of the candidates for the main event tonight, are you drilling them today? Are you going through flashcards? Are you letting them relax? What's the strategy?
Well, I think for today, you want to get them focused, but you don't want to get them too tight. And so I don't think there'll be much heavy drilling today. It's basically a day where you can refocus them, get them prepared on their message, talk through your strategy, basically like a football team would go through a walkthrough on the day of a game. You'd want to do that with your candidate, and then make sure they got something on their schedule that can get them warmed up but also relaxed.
And what would something like that be?
Well, you know, it's different for different folks. When I coached John McCain, he loved doing town hall meetings the day of a debate. That got him warmed up, it got him connected with the audience, and it also made him feel comfortable because Senator McCain was the master of the town hall, really, and so that really helped him get focused for debates. For other people, it might be taking a nap, it could be playing tennis, it might be whatever helps you feel focused. I know that John Kerry in 2004 went and had a manicure and pedicure before his debate.
I thought that's something I only did.
It depends on the candidate, yeah.
That's interesting. What an interesting nugget on that. We know Carly Fiorina likes to play solitaire. That's one of the things that she talks about that kind of gets her centered and focused. So we'll see who actually comes the most centered when they step to the stage. Who do you think has the most to lose tonight, Brett?
Well, I think there's several candidates whose campaigns have been going in reverse that have a lot to lose tonight. I mean, I think Scott Walker needs a moment. I think Chris Christie needs a moment. But I also think it'll be interesting to see how Donald Trump handles Ben Carson. He attacked Ben Carson. The attack really didn't go over that well. Dr. Carson seemed to handle it pretty well, and he's got a different style from Trump. He's not very aggressive. He's very passive and laid back. And I'm not sure that he presents a good opening for Trump to really go after him. So it'll be interesting to see how that exchange goes. And then, obviously, in the undercard debate, I think Lindsey Graham has a lot to gain tonight from his foreign policy experience. So I look for him to shine in that debate as well.
And of course, as an advisor for him, we might expect that, Brett. Let me ask you about how you win a debate. You know, as we got past the first debate, many suggested that Marco Rubio was the winner, but obviously Marco Rubio isn't the person that most are talking about. It remains to be Donald Trump and those who have moved up in the polls, like Ben Carson, like Carly Fiorina. What defines a win in a debate?
Well, I think there are two things that define a win in a debate. I mean, first of all, overall, the public judges winners and losers based on who's most aggressive in the debate, who can actually get their message out, make sure it gets communicated clearly and memorably, and then who has a moment of competitive advantage on the stage. A moment like Chris Christie had with Rand Paul in the first debate, where it was clear that he won that exchange. So audiences look at those back and forth exchanges, and I do believe the debate tonight will feature more of those. I think Carly Fiorina and Donald Trump might get into it. Certainly, you might see Chris Christie try to get into it with Donald Trump or Rand Paul again. So I do think that there'll be some back and forth, and whoever wins those usually is judged to do better in the debates. And then, you know, again, Marco Rubio did have a great debate last time, but while he did a great job of pushing his message, he needs to get into the fray a little bit with the other candidates, because debates are a place where audiences have to have a chance to make head-to-head comparisons between the candidates, and those head-to-head comparisons come through the exchanges that they have with each other.
Interesting. We should know for our viewers, this is number 2 of 12 debates, so we'll keep that in mind because there's a lot ahead, and it's also a very long debate, 2 hours and 45 minutes, so endurance is going to be something that candidates have to manage. Just quickly, Brad, I only have about 30 seconds here. What's one mistake that candidates can't make, that is a deal breaker? What is the one thing when you advise candidates, don't do this?
Yeah, you can't say something factually incorrect. You cannot make something up on the stage. And I think that's the place where Trump is most vulnerable tonight. Is it seems to me that he has not been, he's played fast and loose with facts, and I think that can get him into trouble, especially tonight with Hugh Hewitt with foreign policy.
We often ask the question if facts matter anymore, and apparently they do, and we'll see what happens tonight. Brett, thank you very much. Great to have your expertise.